What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the unofficial tribe, and I've got a great video for you today. We're going to be looking at whether Ivan Toney, the Brentford forward, is worth it or not. Before we get into the video, I've got a little challenge for myself, and if I can do 10 keepy uppies with this soccer ball, you guys have to subscribe. Okay, let's go. Fuck. Let's go. Shit. First try, guys. First try. Just subscribe. What are you doing? Just subscribe. Ivan Toney starts off the season with a price tag of 6.5 million. Currently in FPL, he is the 7th most owned player throughout the whole game. The reason why he is so highly owned right now is because he actually did alright in the Championship League last season. He played a total of 47 games, coming on once as a sub. He scored 33 goals with an XG of 28.7, which means his XG per game was 0.61. He scored 10 assists with a XA of 6.9, which meant he had an XA per game of somewhere around 0.14. Now, the discrepancy between his XA and his assists and his XG and his goals scored kind of tell us that he outperformed his stats last season. Now, looking at his XG and XA, and if you add them together, it kind of tells us what his likelihood to be involved in a goal is per match. As we can see, he has a 75% chance to be involved in a goal, but there's one factor that we're not taking into consideration. And that factor is that he's not playing in the Championship League anymore. He's playing in the Premier League, which is arguably one of the hardest leagues in the world. It's very hard to figure out what the conversion rate would be between the Championship League and the Premier League, but I would like to sort of assume that his goal involvement would be somewhere around 40 to 50%. Now, obviously, I could be wrong, but this is just based on gut feelings and opinions. Now, a lot of you might be thinking to yourselves, well, if he's involved in a goal 40% of the time, does that still not just make him a great option at 6.5? Because that is relatively cheap for a forward. However, due to him being so highly owned, there's always that risk that managers will take him out of their teams, and if that happens, his value will drop significantly, and that will hurt your team. So maybe it is not worth going for the punt at the beginning of the season. There's always a risk with bringing in these highly owned punts. We just don't know how he will do when he goes to the Premier League. We don't know the system that Brentford will set up with. We don't even know if he'll start. So it is, in my opinion, just not worth taking the punt, and I would rather just put an extra million into getting someone like Watkins or Antonio or Calvert-Lewin or Richarlison. There's a whole host of options that we can go for, safer options. We know how they perform in the Premier League, so why would we go for a punt? Now, a good strategy to use going into the FPL season, if you are concerned about Toney, is just give him a couple of games and see how he performs. Another thing to consider about Toney, and something that we do need to take into account, is he's a very aggressive player. Last season in the Championship League, he got 10 yellow cards and 1 red card. That's minus 13 points just right there. And that can be extremely frustrating when you're watching the games and you see him get yellow cards, especially if he doesn't have a goal involvement in the game. Brentford's fixtures are also not the easiest, guys. They're not bad, but they're not the easiest. They face Arsenal, Crystal Palace, Aston Villa, Brighton, Wolves and Liverpool, and then they go through a very tough patch of fixtures. So I just don't really see a spot for Toney, in my team at least, and I don't think you guys should be fixated on him. Can't understand why his ownership is so high, and I think it is definitely the wrong play to go for Toney. And again, I could be mistaken. A lot of people were mistaken about Brentford last season, but with Brentford, the way that Leeds set up, they played very aggressive and they were more concerned about scoring goals than defending them. So this just meant that Brentford was an exceptional option, and I don't see Brentford following suit. I just don't see it. I mean, at the end of the day, FPL is a game, so if you do want to bring in Tony, it's 100% your own decision, and it is a punt that could play off, you just never know. However, it is a punt that I won't be taking, and it's a punt that I would suggest the people around me and the people who watch these videos not to take. Anyway guys, that is all for this video. I hope it was informative, I hope it was entertaining, and if you did enjoy this content, please subscribe to the tribe. Again, my last video absolutely smashed it guys, and it is amazing to see the community growing in front of us. So, yep, that's all for me. Cheers.